All right, I'm going to call to order the Rainbow Park Board meeting for Tuesday, July 26, 2016. Need a roll call.
Member Castleman.
Present.
Member Spola.
Present.
Member Eastwood.
Present.
Member Harris.
Present.
Member Heath is absent. Member Howdy Show.
Present.
Member Manson.
Present.
Member Seamers.
Present.
And Member Troutman.
Present.
All right, all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I don't believe we have any personal appearances. All right, we have acceptance of the minutes for the June 28th, 2016 meeting.
I move we accept the minutes from the June 28, 2016 meeting.
Second.
All right, and I had a motion made to accept the minutes from the June 28th, 2016 meeting and second. Any discussion or corrections? All right, all those in favor? All right, unanimous. There are no committee reports, neither for Finance, Recreation, or Grounds, which did not meet. We'll go to staff reports. Mr. Mustine.
Thank you, sir. I'll call on Superintendent McLean.
Thank you, members of the board. I'll highlight a couple of high points that we've had over the last month. As you can see in our recreation report, submitted report in the packet, it has been quite a busy month. Of course, we had our 4th of July event, which was outstanding. I think staff did an excellent job. We had one of the largest crowds that we have seen there in most recent years, so well done to them. Well done to our fireworks shooters as well. I thought they had an excellent show, so thanks for that. We've had multiple meetings, a lot of them with South Metro, with the sports. All of our fall sports currently is taking registration, but registration deadlines for fall are coming to a close pretty quickly. So we are pushing our marketing for that, and we are preparing rules, preparing scheduling meetings and things to that nature for the shared played. So we've been doing that. We also did a new website training. The new website, the new city website went live about a week and a half ago, and so staff has been going to trainings to keep that up to date and learn about this new website that looks really good. And then finally, I'd like to touch base that men's softball this season had 14 teams, which we had to extend the season out a little bit longer to make sure it all fits in, and it's going to make us tight for fall, but we were glad to see that many teams. That's the first we've had that many teams since I've been in this position. So thank you to all of those players and teams for registering and participating in our summer softball league. I'll entertain any questions at this time.
Yes, Brian.
Can I ask you a question? Maybe you don't know this, but the city used to have the logo to live, work, and play. Do we still do that?
Yes.
So I know the website's live now, but it says live, work, explore. Why don't we have live, work, and play up there? Just a thought, and then we get our own big button on the front. Just throwing it out there.
A good point.
I know.
It is interesting.
Nobody asked a board member's opinion, but I'm giving it.
Any others?
All right.
I don't know how to answer. That wasn't really a question, was it, for me specifically?
Well, I assume you didn't develop it, but you mentioned the website training,
Right.
so obviously you're involved at some
We
point.
do have a button. We do have one of the touch buttons. Like you scroll, we have one of the 4 major buttons. But I don't know about the slogan. That was the first I've heard of that.
I'm glad
So
you
I can look into that. That is not a problem.
You're under the live button. You're under the
There you
button I
go.
was looking at.
There you go.
I'm glad you clarified the button. All right. Thank you, Mr. McLean.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mustang?
I'll call on Superintendent Rulo, sir.
Thank you. I have submitted a written report, but just wanted to key on a couple small items that park staff has been doing. With all the, with all the heat, but then the periodical storms that we've been having, park staff has been doing a lot of tree work throughout the parks, picking up limbs, cutting them, bringing them back, piling them up so we can mulch them up here one of these rainy days. But also, the guys have really been getting into our next event that's coming up is the mini mud run. Park staff has gotten involved with the obstacles, and they've been on these rainy days or the super hot days, they come in and start building obstacles that we'll be taking out there. It's really nice to see the guys getting involved and having fun doing this. I walked out the other day, and after they'd finished doing a couple of the obstacles, I noticed that there was a couple of them over there timing each other on how fast they could get over them. So I know they're getting into them, and I know they can handle the kids now, so that's a good thing. But other than that, we've just been doing the daily or the weekly routines of trying to keep up on the mowing and keeping the parks clean. I'll be glad to entertain any questions.
Ms. Melinda?
Okay, so on the mini mud run, what's the last date you can register for that?
I'll have to pass that over to Superintendent McLean.
You can pre-register all the way up until the day of
Oh, okay.
at like noon, and then you can still pay on site. So we're actually taking registration right up until we start.
Okay, I'm sure I can look up all this information, but since you're here and so handy, and it's always good to put it out there for anybody listening, what's the age cutoff and what's the time frame?
4 to 12. There's 2 different classes, 4 to 7 and then 8 to 12. And the time frame is 6:30 to whenever dark. I mean, we're saying they can go through the once. It's about a half mile is what the parks crew cut a path of with obstacles, along with coordinator Keith, and she's laid it all out, and we figure it's going to take a good 20 minutes or plus for the little kids for sure. And then if the older kids want to go through again, we're leaving it wide open for them to go as many times as they want. So
I think it sounds like a lot of fun. I think it's a great idea, and I'm really sad my kids are too old for this, so I'm going to have to go find me some to take. So that's fun.
Any other?
Yes, I have a question. Is it could you hint at what some of the obstacles are? You will? Yeah, because I'm interested in how this is
Yeah,
going to be done.
Nathan's going to get deeper into some of the logistics of it, so he might be
Yeah,
able to
please.
go further.
Ms. Mustang?
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll go ahead and go a little more in depth on the mud run. This is kind of my baby. I brought it in and asked the coordinator Keith to put this together, and it's definitely been a team effort. Like Steve said, the park guys have really gotten into it. The office staff, we've been passing pictures around and doing things and getting ideas going. Essentially what we have is a half-mile course at Hawk Ridge Park, utilizing the trees, the natural environment, cut through the woods, the ditches and all those things that we can jump over and hop over and run through and climb over and everything like that. Ultimately, when it's all said and done, it's a half mile with the 22 obstacles in there. Now, I just ran the Rugged Maniac this past Saturday, which was 3 miles and 25 obstacles, so that tells you kind of where we're at. The theme behind this mini mud run is taking what we as adults did in those big ones and making them kid appropriate. So where some of the stuff Steve was talking about is basically ladders, climbers, where we're taking pallets and hinging them, and you got to go up and over pallets. So you'll have one high, and then we'll have 2 high. So you'll have different pallets. Then we have what we're calling loop-de-loos, for lack of a better word, is huge piles of dirt back to back to back, and they just got to go up and over and up and over. We'll partner with the fire department and a couple other folks in the community, and we'll even hook up our own, what we call our Cannon sprayers for irrigation on soccer fields, and we'll drench as much of the course as we can. We will have pits dug out. It's full of water, mud, so and then there'll be ropes across it, so they'll have to crawl on their bellies to get under it. We'll have Harmon Tires going to donate tires, so we'll have a tire run, and then stacks of tires all around for a tire maze. What else is there? We're building an A-frame over a pit with a rope swing, so they got to grab it and swing across. If they miss, they hit the dirt, hit the mud. Just anything you can think of, we're throwing out there. We want it to be fun. We want them to love it. We want them to do it twice. We didn't build it all just to do it for 20 minutes and then break it down. So when they're done, after everybody's had a chance to do, we'll line up and let them go again. What we want, every kid, in the end, every kid will get a T-shirt with a pretty cool logo, and a medal for completion. All you got to do is complete it. You don't have to do an obstacle. We just want you to run it. If all you do is run it and run around them all, we don't care. At least you were there and you were doing it. You were outside, you were active, and what you don't realize is that you just ran a half mile on the hill, and it ain't easy for a lot of 4-year-olds. So we're very excited about it. We feel like this will end up being one of our biggest events, that is a community event that we charge a fee for kids only. We feel like this will probably be the biggest one we do. So we're very excited about it. I can't wait. I just cannot wait to see this happen. I can't wait for my kids to do it. So, and if you got nieces, nephews, kids of your own, bring them out. You won't be disappointed. It'll be fun. So, any other questions on the mud run? Yes, ma'am.
You know that as soon as you do this, then everybody's going to be yelling for an adult one, so just start thinking about it, because I'm going, oh gosh, this sounds like fun.
Yes, we want to do an inaugural season for kids only, and depending on the success of it, then we'll tackle some other ideas. We've got a couple ideas that we would like to use the course for. I mean, it's a lot of work to put one together, so you don't want to just do it and then take it down and store it. So if we've got it up, we would like to utilize the course, maybe for a weekend, doing a series of stuff on there. So we've got some long-range plans for it. First year is just to get it up and running. Then we can tweak it, see what works, see what didn't work, and then move on from there. Yes, ma'am.
If you need volunteers for the kids whose parents aren't so crazy about getting muddy, let us know, because I've done the Warrior Dash and such, and it's a blast.
We need volunteers for parents that are going to watch their kids. So if you guys know anybody or would like to volunteer at one of the obstacles, it's mostly just a spotter, just to keep kids, encourage them, help the little ones kind of climb up, keep them. Obviously, we don't want anybody to get hurt, but there's always that element of anything you play or anything you do, you have that chance. So we would like to have, we have sponsors for the event. So a lot of the sponsors will have folks out there volunteering and helping, but the more adults that we can have throughout the course, just routing them, helping them, encouraging them, it just makes it more fun. So yes, if anybody is willing to volunteer, we would love to have you there. I got a couple other things on staff report, if you don't mind, sir. The archery, we're wrapping up week 3, the final week of our archery. First time we've done that. We have 8 kids. And I got to tell you, my kids, I have 2 boys that are in it, and every class period has gotten better and better. Recreation coordinator Keith, who's also a certified archery instructor, has done a fantastic job. It's just really gone well. So kudos to her for that, and we hope that just gains some ground and only gets bigger. We've been finalizing budget for the city manager on to present to the council, which will be in a work session on August 15th, will be the budget. So we've been working on that. Last night was the second read of Shade Structures, so we will be signing contract, getting all the appropriate bonds, licenses, occupational license, all that stuff ready to go, and then we will bring in Shade Systems to meet the board and go over, get our final picks done before the project and get moving with that. And finally, the athletic coordinator position closed last week. We had over 21 applicants for it, well qualified. A very good show. We will begin the interview process at the end of this week and hope to have something, an offer made to one of these candidates by the end of next week, and then we can introduce them to you folks in August. So that is the timeline we'd like to keep in place, and we'll keep you posted on that. That concludes staff report.
Any questions? All right, thank you, Ms. Musting. All right, there's no old business, on to new business. This is going to be item A, schedule of fees. Mr. Musting.
Thank you, sir. In June, during the work session, we discussed the addition of the disc golf course having a rental price for tournaments. During that discussion, we talked about a specific price being $100 per day for the rental of the course. So if it was a 2-day tournament, it would be $200 for the fee. If it was just a 1 day, it'd be $100. The board asked staff to bring this back for an official vote to include this in the schedule of fees that will go before the council. So what you're seeing here is something that we've already discussed and just coming for the board for official approval.
Brian.
Yeah, I move to accept the schedule fees for the FY17 calendar year, fiscal year.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and second for the proposal of accepting the fees for fiscal year 17. Schedule of fees, all those in favor? All right, passes unanimous. We don't have any public comments. Board member comments. I'll start with Jenny.
None.
All right, Sheldon.
A comment came up during the work session about having a park board retreat. I hope we really pursue that soon. Those are very beneficial.
All right, thank you, sir. Michelle.
I'm a Facebookaholic, I admit it. That's my newspaper, that's my information, and I've seen a lot more posts about Parks and Rec's upcoming events, and I really like it, and I pass it along, and I get comments about, I didn't know about that, thank you. So, good job on that.
Eric. All right. Melinda.
I'll just say I want to thank the guys for mowing, because I appreciate a nice mowed lawn, and I can't imagine being out there for hours and hours. So looks good, and thank you to your guys. So.
Stephen.
I just want to mention the 4th of July. I agree with everything Mr. McLean said. It was an incredible show. It was one of the best that I've seen in this city for years. So good work, guys. It was ran well, and the show itself was fantastic.
Brian.
Melinda stole my thunder a little bit, but I don't know if I've ever said it. I probably have, but I want to say it again. Thanks to all you guys and ladies, for the work you put in. Everything looks good outside. I like the way the sports programs work. Congratulations on getting a number of softball teams. Nathan for leading the charge. I've been doing a much better job myself watching city council meetings, and you represent us very well when you get up and you speak. You know what you're talking about, and you're very eloquent in your speech, and a little bit of casual laid back, so that's always a good sign. I'd also like to say I'm pretty giddy about this kids thing. My kids are way too old to do it, but I still might get them out to volunteer a little bit. I haven't done a Warrior Dash. I'm pretty sure I'd get hurt, and I'm too old for that anymore. See that? See? That would be there for 2 years on me. And but I can't lie, I'm kind of giddy about that, and it would be awesome to see these little kids running around. So I hope I got the time to get out there and see what's happening. So good thought, good idea, and good plan. Thank you.
All right, and I want to pass on appreciation to the staff and the members, the employees of the park department. You're doing an excellent job. I know it's hot weather out there and you're having to keep up with the mowing schedule, but you're doing superb work. And as for the mud run, I have to admit that's an exceptional idea, and I really appreciate the fact that it came from the top. It shows some input that we really need, some new ideas and new thoughts to be put forward. And with Brian, I have to admit I feel a little old too. I'm a little older than he is. and I might break in the middle if I did it. But then I'm up for an Ironman competition. But anyway, I want to thank you. And for that, I'm going to call for adjournment. All those in favor? Or
Can I move first?
You can make a
I'll
motion.
move for adjournment.
Second.
All right. Motion for adjournment's been made and second. All those in favor? All right, this meeting is adjourned. You need to go out there and get